Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of Bantam Banter. I am one of your hosts, Michael Ruiz, and with me for the foreseeable future as a permanent host is Ricky Frech. Hello, Ricky.
What's up, Michael?
How are you today?
I'm good. I'm excited to record our very first episode we've ever done for this podcast.
Yeah, definitely the very first episode. So, obviously, there's some tongue-in-cheek garbage going on right here. This is definitely not the first episode we've ever recorded on this podcast. This is maybe like the fifth one, to be honest. There is some explanation for that, and we're going to get into that. But this is basically just to introduce the show, kind of give you an idea of what you can expect from Bantam Banter, the inspiration behind it as well, and we'll see if we do a little topic at the end.
Yeah, we could do a topic.
A little taster of what to expect.
App.
So yeah. So Bantam Banter started off as an idea. We were doing Game of the Year 2020 for DualShockers, and yes, I said the name. I said DualShockers. So we were doing Game of the Year 2020 for DualShockers, and you could see that on their that whole discussion, the 4 quarters of discussion of that,
like 20 hours of content.
Yeah, like 20 hours of podcasting on their YouTube page. If you really want to see that,
you don't.
You don't. So we got this idea because we were doing that, and we're like, man, it'd be great if we could do something like goofy and not so serious all the time. And like we were coming up with like categories, like in our like just private messaging Discord stuff, and like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if this would be a category, and then we'd want to talk about that. Like I don't know, Ricky, what was like maybe one of the
the big one I was pitching this year was best Suji Dex entry from Yakuza Like a Dragon, because those things are incredible, and
they're very good. So yeah, they're just like goofy stuff like that. And we kind of wanted to bring that to DualShockers, and so the idea came from that of like, how can we just do some goofy stuff where we don't feel like we're always like serious all the time, and we're having fun doing what we're doing. And that's where Bantam Banter came in. It originally was going to be called like the lunch table or something like that. If you're wondering what the name is coming from, it's Bantam is it's a type of bagel, as some would know, but also it is it's a bar in the video game series Yakuza, if you never heard of it. And if you know Ricky and I, you know that we're really big fans of that video game series, and so we wanted to have an ode for that somewhere in the name.
Hold on, and Bantam is a bagel?
Yeah, you've never heard of Bantam bagels?
No, is that a type of bagel or a company that makes bagels?
So I don't know if it's a type of bagel, but so at my place of work, that's a coffee shop that's really popular that people know probably, that wear green aprons.
Oh, Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons, yeah, they wear green aprons. Yeah, so they have bagels. They used to have bagels. They actually discontinued them, but you could get them at Dunkin' though, and Dunkin's really good. But they're basically like a donut hole,
yeah,
like a munchkin.
Yeah.
So it's like that, but a bagel, and it has cream cheese filled inside of it. So you don't even have to spread. They're okay. They had, so at my place of work, they had a French toast one, and it was incredible.
That sounds good.
It had like cinnamon cream cheese. It kind of tasted like Cinnabon frosting with like a cinnamon bagel. It was freaking amazing. That was the first one that they discontinued. I'm like, what? Well, this ain't going anywhere.
That's bad choices.
This is bad. Like now you got plain and like they called it everybody's favorite. It was like an everything bagel with like veggie cream cheese.
Who eats plain? Who are the people that eat plain bagels, or the people that eat vanilla ice cream?
Killers, probably.
People need more spice in their life. I don't understand anyone that can be like, my favorite flavor of ice cream is vanilla, or my favorite flavor of I guess, bagels is plain. I would like nothing
Plain.
on my bagel. Just plain.
Fun fact, sometimes I go to a grocery store around here. I don't know if you have them around there. And
We don't have grocery stores
in
in
Tennessee.
Memphis. We don't have grocery stores.
Interesting. Well, I go to a grocery store called Aldi. And sometimes their everything bagels look like garbage, so sometimes we have gotten plain bagels. But here's the thing, though. We get an everything bagel, like, topping thing, like a shaker that has, like, the everything bagel seasoning on it,
Yeah.
And what I would do instead is when I put the cream cheese, when I apply the cream cheese, I then sprinkle everything bagel seasoning on top of the cream cheese.
That works for me.
So then I'm kind of getting like an everything bagel instead of a plain bagel. Because you gotta deal with what you have sometimes.
Oh yeah, definitely. But if I'm going to a popular chain of coffee shops to order a bagel, I want something, a little more than just plain.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I don't trust the people who order plain bagels more than I don't trust the people that order a multigrain bagel.
Ugh.
To be honest.
Ugh. Okay, we should probably get back on topic and stop talking about
so
bagels.
Yeah, so the idea behind the podcast was like, the naming at least was that, we wanted to have a little bit of a dedication to Yakuza because we're big fans of Bantam as a bar and Yakuza. But also, like, the idea of the conversations that we have here are that of, like, being in a bar, in a sense. Or, like, again, we were having, like, we had the idea of, like, the lunch table as, like, as the podcast name. Like, what kind of conversations would you have at, like, a lunch table, or in this case now a bar? And then banter's just a better word than whatever we had originally. I don't remember what we had originally.
It makes us sound more European, right? That's what they call, like, making fun of each other in Britain. I think. I watch soccer sometimes. I think they call it banter.
Maybe. I don't watch soccer that much. We have a lot of friends in Europe, though. We could probably just ask them.
Nah.
Anyway. So yeah, that was kind of just the idea. It's just like let's just have some fun topics. They could be anything from something recent, like I guess like there was a Nintendo Direct that happened recently, and this might be dated now because I don't know exactly when this is going to be happening. But it could be something about something recent that's important, like a Nintendo Direct, or it could just be about something ridiculous, like a backyard sports karate league. So, which is
don't give away all our good ideas.
Which is an episode you could look forward to because we already recorded that one, and it was really fun.
Yeah, and it's also worth saying, I think, that even though we're not with the old site we used to be with, we still talk to all those people.
Yeah,
that used to work with us, and one of the big pushes for this podcast was that we were going to try to have those people on as much as we can. And even though, we're not going to have certain people on as like more permanent hosts like we had planned originally, I still think we're going to try to get those people on as much as we can. So expect to see, if you like some of the voices that have left Dual Shockers, yes, I said it too, expect to see some of them come on through from time to time because we like those people. They're our friends.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, you put it very well. Yeah, definitely a big push for this podcast was to get everyone involved at the site, and we don't have that site anymore. We actually, you might be seeing that we do have our own website now, which is bantambanter.com. Sorry, my voice gave out there. And yeah, we hopefully will plan to get those voices here. I'm personally really good friends with some of them, and and it would be great to have some of them on for sure. Speaking of this website, initially in this plan, we did not think we were going to make this into a website. This is more, I feel like this is probably more on me than anything because I've kind of, to get on a little bit more of a personal note, I've kind of like fallen out of the journalism realm in a sense. And not that I don't want to write or wouldn't want to do it professionally, but I've done it for a long time, and I think in my mind my time is up, but I still want to do it for fun, and I really love saying my piece on video games or really anything. So the idea of the site was of this site now is that I kind of have like an avenue to write reviews or previews or do news or whatever I want to do, I guess, without really having to feel stressed about it. So like that was kind of the idea for me of like why I wanted to make it into a website, because I just wanted a place where I could write and just write for myself, kind of. So I think also like if anybody like I think we're kind of extending this to like also from the podcast, saying that like, oh, we would want like friends to appear on here on the podcast to talk. I think we would also kind of extend that to people who also want to write as well, because I know there's some people who, you know, do want to write and don't have a place to kind of put out their take or whatever on certain things, and they really want to do that. And I would love for some of the friends that we've had do that here. I think that would be great.
Yeah.
Again, it's like totally for fun. It's not like this professional endeavor we're trying to like make big or anything like that. This is very much for fun, and in a way it's for ourselves. So like, or at least that's how I see it for myself, you know. I'm doing this because I want to do it, and it makes me personally happy. And if I can make other people happy, that's great. But I personally am doing it for selfish reasons. So, so yeah.
As someone who has edited Michael's work, you guys are lucky that he still wants to write, because he's a really good writer. I don't
Thanks,
know. No problem. I don't know. I'm currently trying to make it as a freelancer for now, but you'll probably see some of my stuff on the site too, especially because Michael has already said that I can write about Survivor. So,
oh yeah,
my non-video gaming takes will probably be coming to Bantam Banter very soon.
Yeah, and I want to say too, this isn't. I know we're known for our video game coverage, but this isn't exclusively about video games at all. We definitely want to branch out and do other things. You know, if you've seen what I've been writing for the past like year, it's been a whole lot of skateboarding. I would love to write about skateboarding and stuff like that. Or, you know, I really dig. I don't even know what I dig anymore, to be honest. But skateboarding is the big one now. Music, I love music. Like, I would love to, like, if there's like oh, here are my favorite albums of the year kind of thing. Like, check these albums out or whatever. Like that would be something I would want to do, like review albums or something like that. It's something that I tried to do like a while back. But yeah, those are. This is definitely not exclusive to video games. Although that's probably what we'll primarily talk about, because that's, at least in my mind, that's like what I know a lot about, because I've just been in that industry for a bit.
Yeah.
And we just kind of default to that because, or at least I default to that because it's like quote unquote easy for me to like just be able to talk about video games. But I do want to like branch out and be like, all right, let's talk about wrestling, for example, is another big one.
Yeah.
I think both of us can do that, or bring people in that we know. Like on one of the episodes you hear, Mario Rivera will be on them, and hopefully we'll have him more. So I know he loves talking about wrestling, and I think he'd be great to have on too. But yeah, like I just wanted to point that out, that like this is definitely not just video games. This could be anything and everything. Whatever we're interested in, that's probably what we're going to talk about at the time. And if it's Survivor, it'll be Survivor. And honestly, all the talk about Survivor has made me want to watch Survivor. So now I don't know.
Michael,
I don't know how you go about that.
Let's start a rewatch where you watch all the seasons. We will rewatch all the seasons together, and then we talk about them.
Should we do like a ranking of the seasons?
Oh, yes, please. I want your ranking of the seasons.
Or should we do the ranking of the competitors, of every single competitor?
Oh my gosh. There has to be over 1,000.
There has to be.
I mean, there's 40 seasons. Some of them are returnee seasons, so like 6, 20, and 40 are all returners. And then there's some others, I don't know the numbers, but like second chances all returners. So there are some that like lap, they lap over with each other, but it's at least 16 competitors every season. So even if half of those, maybe there's not 1,000. I don't know. Never mind. I'm bad at math, but there's a lot. That would take so long.
It'd be great.
We could get your winner rankings, I guess. That would make a little more sense.
Maybe.
A little bit more.
Okay, maybe just doing the season ranking would be really good.
Yeah.
Are they on Hulu?
All the seasons are available on CBS All Access, which will soon be known as Paramount Plus. Season 20 and 28, which are two of the best seasons ever, are available currently on Netflix. 20 is kind of tougher to go into simply because it is an all-returner season, so you're going to go in not knowing all these people, and they
you don't know the relationships or anything.
Yeah. 28 is Survivor went through a dark period after season 20 where they were casting what the community calls MACtors, which is model actors, and they were really boring, bad casts, bad seasons.
Okay.
And then season 28, this man named Tony Vlachos entered the fray and basically brought Survivor back.
Saved Survivor.
He pretty much saved Survivor. I mean, I saying that, I think, gosh, see, I know the names of them all, but I can't remember where they fall. So if you hear typing, I apologize. Dang it. I think San Juan del Sur happened right, but yeah, it was after. Never mind. Okay. I was about to say San Juan del Sur is also good, but that happened right after. But yeah, basically Survivor Cagayan, which is season 28, kind of like brought the show back. The last couple of seasons have been questionable for non-game reasons, like some real messed up real world stuff has happened around them.
Oh.
But otherwise, they've been pretty good. But yeah, it's a great show. You should watch it.
Yeah. Maybe I'll do that, and then we can make hashtag content about it. So yeah, going back to it, just we want to make sure that we're not, we're stretching our legs a little bit with not just doing video games. I think it'd be good for us to not do that as well.
Yes, so, yeah, definitely. You get tired of it.
Not only will like, I think in some ways, like, stretching, like kind of going out into other things kind of helps with like becoming like better in whatever trade you're trying to be in or whatever, and in this case it'd be writing or whatever. But I think it also helps it, like you said, like we're not getting bored of video games,
yeah,
because that happens, believe it or not. So yeah. Is there anything else we need to talk about this podcast? In terms of, like,
I don't think
or whatever.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think pretty much you laid it out pretty well.
Yeah, I think I did.
I mean, just like in general, expect a lot of dumb opinions on a lot of dumb stuff, and for us to have a good time, and hopefully us having a good time equals you having a good time.
Yeah,
dear listener, don't expect us to take anything too seriously or to like come in and be like, here's the games we're playing this week. Okay, here's the news. Okay, here's our listener mail. If you send us mail, I'm sure we'll read it. But at the same time, we're not looking to be the next, I don't know, what's a big podcast? Giant Bomb. Yeah. We're not looking to be the next that. We're just looking to be, small and fun and not take anything very seriously.
Yeah.
Not that Giant Bomb ever takes anything seriously, but their format has kind of been run into the ground. So we're trying to do something a little different.
Yeah. Something to spice it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, we do got a little topic here that I want to talk about, just to give you a little taste of what we're doing. And even though it's not all that goofy, maybe it'll get goofy. I don't know.
It's going to help who we are, so you can listen to this and you can be like, well, they have terrible opinions, I'm never listening to them again. So we're providing a service for all of you.
Exactly. Also, before we do this, I just want to say, I already mentioned it, but please check out the website, bantambanter.com. We'll probably have some stuff up there I'm trying to decide whether or not we release just this episode. I think we'll probably release 2 episodes, and there will be probably a weird thing with the second episode because it was recorded during DualShockers time. So I'll probably have to record a little intro in the beginning, but that's fine. But check out the website. We'll try to keep stuff there like pretty consistent, or for me, as I'm the one who's like has the free time for writing and whatever. I mean, Ricky, you got free time to write too sometimes.
I do right now, that's for sure.
Yeah. Maybe we'll try to keep it consistent at least. But yeah, just make sure to check out the site. We'll see about all the. Honestly, the planning's been kind of weird, so we're kind of not sure whether or not we're gonna do YouTube or not. We're kind of you could probably find this on podcasting services and whatever. I do know we'll have that up and running because that's really easy to do. But in terms of like video and stuff, this is kind of like a test run, I would say.
Yeah, I would say if we find we can commit the time to doing video, we'll do video. But for now,
just audio, except for one of the episodes, which is the backyard sports one.
Okay.
That one will have a video because we already have the video.
Right. Yeah.
So that's the only one. But yeah, just make sure to check out the website. We'll have stuff there. So yeah. Anyway, the topic for today is, do we want to do top 3 or just one?
We could do top 3.
Okay.
I don't have anything going on tonight.
Yeah. What are our top 3 video games of all time? All time.
Now, before we even start, let me ask the question. Is it the 3 video games we think are the best, or the 3 video games we like the most? Because those are 2 very different things.
3 video games we like the most.
Okay.
I don't care about the best. There's Metacritic for the best.
Fair enough. Okay.
Then I'm going to be spouting out Last of Us Part 2 garbage, and I don't need to talk about that, to be honest. Enough of that last year.
Oh, man.
Anyway.
Okay, what's your number 3?
My number 3? The thing is, I know what my number 1 is. So 2 and 3 get kind of weird, but
okay.
I'd probably say my number 3 is... You know what? I've played so much Yakuza at this point, I feel like I have to say a Yakuza game.
Wow, of all time.
Of all time, and it'd probably be Judgment.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I have a Yakuza game in my top 5, but not in my top 3.
It's quite literally changed like my game, like how what I enjoy from video games at this point.
Okay.
Before, I would have said Mass Effect.
The first one?
The very first Mass Effect.
Are you? Wow. Over 2.
Yeah. Over 2, yes.
I mean, I think 2 is like one of the best games ever made. It's not going to be on my top 3, but it's definitely up there.
Yeah, the first one I really like hyper sci-fi stuff, and I think 2 is really good. Like, again, going back to best games of all time versus like what we like more.
Yeah. I
think 2, yeah, definitely a better game, but it doesn't, like, I feel like the first Mass Effect does the whole like Sci-Fi Channel sci-fi like kind of really well.
Yeah,
I'm really into that. So yeah.
I mean, 2 is like Ocean's 11 in space, right? Like,
yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
2 is an amazing game. I even like 3. I'll even say it. I like 3 too. Also, like,
how dare you?
1, 2, and
get
3,
out of here!
All great games. I am really excited for the Legendary Edition or whatever they're calling it. I cannot wait to play that. I almost started just playing them last week. I started up Mass Effect 1, and I showed a picture to. I'm in like a group with Logan and like a few other people. Logan Moore, who's of comicbook.com. I shared an image with him. He's like, "Stop!" I'm like, "You're right. This is wrong. I can't do this."
Oh man.
So I stopped, and then that's actually when I started playing Yakuza 4, which is not on this list. But yeah, Judgment. I think Judgment is probably one of my favorite video games of all time. It's probably in number 3.
Huh.
Like I said, I think like again, I didn't know anything about Yakuza video games before Judgment, and now they are like my very favorite video games of all time. Like they are in like out of all the like if I would do like a top 20, there'd probably be like 4 Yakuza games in that. So
wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And I thought I liked Yakuza.
It hits the right notes of like really dumb and hyper dramatic, really great storytelling, like perfectly. And it's something that like really vibes with me. And this is not to say that Yakuza is like this, but for reference, TV shows and movies I really like Riverdale, and I really like the Resident Evil movies. But then I also like movies like Casablanca, and I really like I love sci-fi, so like Blade Runner, like Alien, those are like things that I really dig. So I really like serious stuff, but I also like super goofy, really bad stuff. And I feel like Yakuza like skirts that line of both like incredibly well.
Have you played either of the Deadly Premonition games?
No, but
I really think you need to.
I mean, from what you've told me, I feel like I would have loved them. So
I don't know if I would suggest playing either of them, to be honest.
I mean, Origins is the first one, isn't it? On Switch?
I think so. Yeah. They're both on Switch,
Maybe
if that's true.
Maybe I should play the first one.
But at the same time, it's almost better to just watch it than it is to play it.
That's how I quote unquote played all the Metal Gear games except for 5.
You haven't played the Metal Gear games?
No, I've never played them. I've only played 5.
Oh,
and 5 is incredible.
Michael.
So
5 is the best playing one, that's for sure.
5 is very, very, very good.
But man, God.
Yeah, I never played them. I was playing 1 last year or December last year. I was playing it kinda.
Yeah.
It plays like garbage.
I'm playing
the GOG version, I should say. I don't know if that means anything.
Like with mouse and keyboard?
No, I hooked up a gamepad for sure. I'm not playing that game with a mouse and keyboard. That sounds terrible. No, I played with a gamepad. And I mean, it plays like garbage. And I don't know if that's the game or if that's the GOG version or whatever. But there's like certain things that I do. I'm like, why is it not just hitting the guy? I don't know. I was doing like the Revolver Ocelot boss mission. Like I would try to hit him. Like, dude, I'm aiming right there. Like, why is the stupid control stick like just being super wonky? And I wonder if that's that version or whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so they don't play that great. I'll say that, especially the first ones. But they were made forever ago. So
I agree, but also, I mean, my number 1 was made a long time ago, and that game plays amazing.
Okay. It still plays amazing?
It still plays amazing to this day. You will not guess what my number 1 is.
Okay. We'll circle back around to this when we get to your number 1.
Okay.
Because I might have thoughts.
What's your number 3?
My number 3 is World of Warcraft.
Dude, you got a good point.
I have been chasing the high I felt as a 8th grader the first time I played World of Warcraft in 2004 for my entire life. The level of exploration and just like not knowing anything, like before Alakazam and Wowhead and all that, all those resources came out and you could just know everything immediately.
Yeah.
How gigantic and mysterious and amazing that world was like one of the best moments, not just in gaming, but in my entire life. Like that's the thing that I've been chasing since then. And I don't think anything else has gotten close, to be honest. I mean, I know there's 2 games that are going to be ahead of this one, but nothing tops that feeling of getting into WoW for the first time.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, I got into WoW late Burning Crusade.
Mm-hmm.
My game time of playing that game was late Burning Crusade until middle Cataclysm, and then I kind of came back for Mists of Pandaria. That was kind of like when I played, like religiously played the game.
Yeah.
Wrath of the Lich King was when I played like a nutcase.
Yes.
Because that is, it's still to this day, what I like when I look to play like a online video game with like friends and stuff like that, and like really get into it. Like when people describe Destiny or when people describe what I'm like, dude, have you ever played? Have you ever been in a raid for a while? Have you ever? I don't.
Have you ever been in a 40-man raid?
Yeah, have you ever been in a 40-man raid? Because it's like one of the craziest things you'll ever do in video gaming, ever. So I'm with you. I definitely understand why this would be your 3. Because, I mean, there's a lot of stuff for what you could say a lot of things about it. WoW now, but definitely those first few expansions were like impeccable. They were amazing and like did a lot for that genre, honestly, for MMOs.
Yeah.
So,
and it's really weird to think about WoW for me because, nowadays we have Raid Finder, we have all these easy ways to find out everything and like get all the content.
Never existed.
No, and back then I didn't raid hardly at all. I barely raided because I didn't have the time and had like major social anxiety of like my performance. Like I would get like freeze up as a kid. I mean, I still do now. Like I don't really play online games because I don't want to let people down. But now you can just hop in and play it. But you would think that would make it better because now I'm getting to see all that content. But for some reason, it's just not as good because the lack of exploration and having to figure things out on your own. And, like you're going around and everything is in instances now. So you're seeing people from other servers, there's not that server identity either. I was in a guild, but, I had friends from other guilds that we just met doing, oh crap. I just lost it.
Blackwater
South
Depths.
Shore. No. This wasn't, instance. It was like world PvP in Hillsbrad.
Hillsbrad. Okay.
Hillsbrad, where you'd fight between those two towns. I can't remember what they're called.
I can't remember what they're called either.
South Shore maybe is the Alliance place.
Maybe I didn't play Alliance, so
you mean either. But that's what I remember because that's when I was always attacking.
Sure.
But and then like when Alterac Valley came, I was in that like games for days. Not
Alterac is really fun.
Yeah, and it used to be crazy. Because you'd be fighting in there for forever. It wasn't a 30-minute quick match. It was long.
Yeah.
And what I will say, one of my favorite WoW memories though is more recently probably what came after Pandaria. Was that
Legion? Was that Legion?
No. Was it Draenor?
Warlords of Draenor.
Okay, so in Warlords of Draenor, I went into this Alterac Valley match, and like you can summon that god or whatever if you give enough blood, but no one ever does it because it takes forever.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we convinced people to do it, but me and this guy convinced people to play it the old school way. And we were in the match for 2 hours and summoned the old god to kill everybody. It was one of the most incredible things I've ever experienced because it was like, this is not the way you're supposed to play this game, but we're going to make everyone play it the way we used to play it in 2007, whenever it came out, I don't remember. But
2004.
Yeah. No, well, I don't know. When did Alterac came out? That was later.
When did Alterac? Yeah, I don't remember when Alterac came out.
I have no idea. 2007 is probably way too late.
Yeah, I mean, some of my like fondest like video game memories is every morning before when I was in high school, every morning me and 3 of my friends would go fishing at what's the place, the Oasis with the skull where that instance is. I can't remember the name of it for some reason.
Wailing Caverns?
Wailing Caverns. Yeah, we'd go fishing at the Wailing Caverns like every morning. I don't know why. We just did it. It's not like there's rare fish or whatever. We just went fishing.
Were you just there for the Barons chat?
Yeah, kind of a little bit. But also just like, it's just us like just hanging out, even though we'd be going to school. Like we'd wake up at like 6:00 or 5:30 in the morning to like go fish and like talk or whatever. And then we would carpool. So, they would pick me up afterwards to go then go to school. And those are like some of my fondest memories of like video gaming. It's just World of Warcraft stuff like that, or
Yeah.
you know, the raids that we used to do, and like what's the Witch King raid? What's the castle called?
Ice Crown Citadel.
Yeah, like when we do that, and there's like the slimes on the ground, and we called it playing Frogger, and like for some reason people would die during that part. I'm like, what the hell are you guys doing? We're dying at this part. It is really fun. Like I could see why World of Warcraft would be in somebody's top 3 video games of all time for sure.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Good
I mean, it was a good game. I don't know if I would suggest it now, but
very good.
Yeah.
My number 2 is so this is kind of getting weird because there's certain ways how I feel about certain video games now versus like how I did maybe when I first started writing about video games. I want to say that Doom 2016 is like number 2.
Wow. Wow.
But also anything skateboarding related might be in number 2 as well.
So Metal Gear Solid.
So Metal Gear Solid, Tony Hawk, like Skater XL stuff would probably be around there too. I'm gonna say like Skate 2. We'll put that in there.
Skate 2. Wow. Okay.
/ Skater XL.
Any more slashes?
I only say that, and I wrote a whole thing about it that is on DualShockers, and and this is more important to me now versus like what I like the most. I think if I said like what I like the most, I guess probably Doom 2016, to be honest. But I think for something that kind of like fundamentally changed like my life, like not just in gaming but also like how I live my life, I think Skater XL was like a really important game for me. So I would probably say that, even though it's like really not that great of a game. And there's like certain problems I have with it. It's really good when you mod it, but yeah, it basically like when I wrote a whole thing about it, where last year I was having like pretty rough time, and I gained a ton of weight. It was like really stressed out and stuff. And then I started playing these games like a little bit during that time too. Like I played Session, and I was playing Skater XL, and I kind of was getting that itch to start skating again because I used to skate when I was in high school. And they just kept on giving me this itch to like, oh, I want to go skate. I want to try skating again. But I'm like, I don't know if I should spend like $100 on a skateboard, all this stuff. And then at one point, like my brother-in-law who lives in Florida like came by, and he brought his skateboard with, but he also wanted to check out the game because he also heard about the Skater XL, and so we checked out the game, and then we went to go skate outside, which ended up being kind of like a nostalgic thing for me because we used to do that with skate, except kind of the opposite. We go skate, and then after we skate we'd go play skate. But yeah, so we did that, and then after that I like bought a skateboard and I started skating again. I've lost like 50 pounds skating. Dang.
Take that. What is that game called? Beat Saber.
Beat Saber. I like eat significantly better. I don't drink as much as I used to drink. I still drink beer. I'll say that. I love beer. It'll never go away. But I was drinking beer just now actually. But yeah, it like fundamentally changed like how I live now, like right now at this moment. So yeah, in that like sense, like right now I want to say Skater XL just because like of how it's affected me recently. And I could see in the foreseeable future that like I'm going to be skating. I really enjoy it. It's made me a lot happier. Not just like physically made me better, but also like mentally, like every time I skate, I'm always happy. I'm not like down if I can't like do a trick or anything. I'm just doing it for fun. Yeah. So it's been like really good to like connect with that part of myself too. So it's weird because like that game is, again, it's not amazing or anything like that, but I think at this point, at this moment right now, I probably want to say Skater XL.
Yeah, I mean, as someone who used to be a PE teacher, I will wholeheartedly endorse this because the goal of any PE teacher, I think, should be to help people find something that's going to help them stay fit to some degree. You don't have to be like a, some fitness model or something, but stay active.
Yeah.
And find something that they're going to do, because not everyone wants just to go to the gym. Not everybody wants to go play basketball. But, that was always my goal as a PE teacher back before my school closed down was to help kids, to introduce them to as many sports and activities as possible. So hopefully they could find something as they become an adult that they could do consistently. Yeah. And so that's cool to see that happening for you.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And also like it was really funny seeing, because I kept on posting about it, about like, oh, I'm skating this, like this is like, here's kind of like a progress or whatever. And then I wrote that thing, and then Ben, who used to be with Dual Shockers, he's like, damn it, Mike, I bought a skateboard because of you. And so sometimes he'll send me stuff about like him skating and stuff like that. And it's also like opened up like a door in a sense to like people who I used to talk to, and they would like, they've messaged me and been like, oh dude, that's awesome or whatever, and like it's great that you're like having fun skating again or whatever. Or like people have asked me to go skating again with them, like people who I haven't talked to in like legitimately 10, 12 years. Like, and I've gone skating with those people, and it's just been, it's like been, there has, other than the parts of like getting hurt, which I went skating today, I did get kind of hurt. I slammed my knee. I wanted to buy knee pads. They had 0 knee pads there. But, like other than the getting hurt parts, like every single part of it has been positive, and I think has like, as I started to do it, as I started to skate again, like it was as if I found like a part of me that was like missing, or like I realized that like skating was such a huge part of like why the way I am, It was like it was like a weird thing, So I would probably, at this moment I'd probably say Skater XL, probably.
That's cool.
Yep. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is not as meaningful by any means, but it is another Blizzard game.
Oh.
It is Diablo 2, Lord of Destruction.
Oh, runs, baby.
Yeah. Which is, I said I started playing WoW in like 8th grade. I think my entire middle school career was spent playing Diablo 2, just running,
yes.
I was all about, I did a lot of dumb stuff, Michael. Like I made accounts where I would name my characters like, I don't remember, some dumb like mule or something. And then I would go into games, or look for games where people were typing in stuff like free with 10 E's, or like I'm quitting, or
remember
free
when
stuff.
you had to make a room for a game and you're playing online?
Yeah.
It was not like a quick match. Like I think Diablo 3, I don't know how Diablo 3 works now, but I assume you just kind of get put into a thing, like an instance or whatever, with certain people.
Yeah, I don't know if you can do random matchmaking. I haven't played in a while. I assume you can.
I don't think it's like,
I
don't think it's like how it was before, where you like make a room and you like name it a certain thing. Because there was times where like, oh, we're trying to get this rune right here, or like, oh, we're doing bale runs, or we're doing cow runs, or we're doing whatever.
Yeah.
That was definitely not how. I don't think that's how it is anymore.
I doubt it. There's no way. I mean, that seems so old internet, like 2001 or whatever. But I would go try to get free stuff from people who are quitting the game, and then transport it to my main characters. And then, like you said, like just follow these people that are running bail bots. Like I had a guy, I didn't know him in real life, but I knew him from Diablo, and he was trying to get a character at level 99. So he would just have, bail run 1024, and then you jump into that and do that bail run, and then you'd switch, and then he'd jump out and you'd go to the next one, bail run 1025, and me and this guy would just be chatting while his bot was killing bail, and we were just, and he'd be like, okay, if I don't want it, you can have it, and and then random people would join. But yeah, I mean, it is like World of Warcraft, it is the kind of game I'm always chasing. I think it's why I like Borderlands so much, because it has that same loot system. Yeah. And that same like where you can hop in and have a good time with your friends. I never really got into Destiny.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's probably why I like Destiny a lot.
Yeah.
Except like Destiny when I first started with like playing with friends and stuff like that. I think that's why I liked that experience a whole ton.
Yeah.
Because of Diablo, but now it's like I don't really have that kind of experience all that much.
Yeah. But recently I was looking, I don't know. I mean, I don't have like an hour count for Diablo 2 or anything, but, I had probably dozens of characters in the 90s.
Yeah.
And then, I played Open BattleNet with mods. And, most recently there's the Median XL mod that does like a full overhaul. It's freaking crazy and really good. I played a bunch of that probably 2 or 3 years ago. And you've spent all this time in it. And then the other day I was thinking like, I feel like I barely even played Diablo 3. Maybe I should try that again. And I went and looked, and on my main barbarian from back in, whenever it launched, 350 hours. But to me, that was barely playing it because I'd spent so much time in Diablo 2. It was to the point where I would dream about loot drops. Like could see loot dropping in the game. And then there was a point where I was, a kid and dumb. I was like looking at eBay trying to buy accounts. And I started having dreams about those accounts I was thinking about buying.
Jesus Christ.
I never actually bought one though. I never did that. Thank goodness. But
yes.
Yeah. I did get scammed out of a couple of items from time to time though. Because I was dumb, and they'd be like, if you type your password in, then this is why I have so many accounts and so many high-level characters. They'd be like, if you type your password in with these brackets, I can't see it, but if you type it in, then we'll be able to give you blah, blah, blah. And then I type it in, and they go steal my account.
Oh, my God.
Or they'd be like, if we both drop an item at the same point, it'll dupe. And then, you drop it, and then they'd run across and steal it from you.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I fell for a lot of dumb scams as a kid. I understand why, kids. I mean, maybe that's why I hate, FIFA so much, because of the loot boxes. Because I can understand being that dumb kid and just being like, oh, yeah, if I buy these loot boxes, I'll get really good cards and be able to have the best team in FIFA. Because I was that dumb kid who was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. This total stranger is telling me to drop all this good equipment I've collected, and then it'll dupe. And then he steals it all from me, or she, who knows. But yeah, I spent a god-awful amount of time playing Diablo 2 back in the day.
Diablo 2 was like my training for World of Warcraft in terms of like playing like with friends and like doing long video game sessions. Like that's how, and I played with the same friends too, who I played Diablo 2 with. I played with in World of Warcraft. So Diablo 2 is amazing.
Yeah, it's a really good game.
It's an amazing video game.
We don't know when this is going out, do we?
We don't know.
Okay. Well, I have a sneaking suspicion we're going to hear more about Diablo 2 this weekend. This dates the podcast, but at BlizzCon, I have a suspicion we're going to hear more about that.
I hope so. Diablo 2 like remaster or whatever.
Yeah, I think I put the chances at around 80%.
Do you trust it now? Like, do you trust Blizzard with a remaster now after World of Warcraft or with Warcraft 3?
No, but we'll see. I mean, it would be really great if they would take some of the ideas from the modding community, or at least brought back Open BattleNet, because a lot of that stuff is one of the big reasons people still play that game.
Yep.
But
it's only I hope that they don't like destroy what is already there, because that was kind of the thing with 3 was that they kind of destroyed like the community that was already there, and they kind of ruined it.
My big BlizzCon prediction that by the time you hear this is not going to be a prediction because it will have already happened, is that they will announce the Assassin class for Diablo 4 and then drop the trailer for Diablo 2 Remastered.
One can only hope.
I think that's going to happen.
Blizzard's kind of downfall has been kind of very sad for me.
Yeah, so. Especially with someone with 2 of their games, their top 3 games of all time.
Like I would probably have said about 2 years ago that Blizzard was my favorite developer. So,
yeah.
Or 3 years ago, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't even tell you who mine is now. Devolver, maybe?
Maybe. I
they're more
really
of a publisher.
I really like what id's doing.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I couldn't really tell you who my favorite developer is anymore.
Okay, let's hear this number one, Michael.
Okay. You ready for my number one?
Yeah, I want to know, because I want to circle back to the Metal Gear Solid talk.
It's this old video game some of you millennials wouldn't know, but it's called Galaga. Galaga is my number one video game of all time.
Okay.
I know this sounds crazy, but to this day, Galaga still plays like perfectly. It is the perfect video game in my mind.
Okay.
To get into my brain of like how I review video games or whatever, you're a reviews editor. So,
I am.
I mean,
I was.
You might kind of know like what I lean towards. Like I really lean towards gameplay a whole ton.
Same.
If like a story could be really great, and I think a story can carry a game, but I think if I'm not having fun playing it, more often than not, I'm not really enjoying the game at all. The story has to be like amazing for me to like not care about it. Like
even. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go. You go.
I was gonna say it doesn't. Even if it's amazing, it almost has to like. I'm gonna probably make some people mad who are listening to this, but I kind of hated Spiritfarer last year because it doesn't feel very good to play, and because so much of the gameplay is like backtracking for no reason. And that story is exceptional, but I was like, I wish this game was a third as long.
Yeah, it's kind of like, to me, and maybe it was a time and place thing, and maybe I'd feel differently now, but I really, really liked the Walking Dead season stuff. That game, the gameplay is like almost not even there. You kind of just press buttons, and that's about it.
You're selecting choices.
Yeah, you're selecting choices, and maybe that's I don't know. And that gameplay isn't all that great, but the story is compelling, and I really enjoyed it, and it makes you feel part of it, and I think that's why I like those games. But that might be an exception, and more often than not, like gameplay is what I look for. So, Galaga, zero story. I guess maybe the story is that, in my mind, is that you're the last starfighter, as it as it may be, and you're fighting off a whole gang of bug ships. That's maybe to me what the story is. If you're like, looking at the screen and just trying to make up a story as you're going, because there's no story really.
There's no plot section.
There's no
on
plot
Wikipedia.
or anything. It's just you fighting ships. But I think, in terms of like, I really enjoy like arcade games. It's stuff like Nex Machina and stuff like that. Like I really enjoy like Robotron 2084 and stuff like that. I really enjoy.
So.
I think like those games are all incredible. I really enjoy games like that, and I think Galaga is just the best of it, just because I feel like it's fast paced, but still it's not so fast paced that like you can't understand what's happening on the screen. You could see everything that's happening on the screen. It never feels like an old game. Like it's simple enough to where it's like it doesn't feel like it's dated, like there are still games made that way in a sense. And in some ways, some games have hurt from it because they try to do too much, and then it's like, well, there's too much happening. I don't know what the hell's going. Like Ikaragu or whatever? I can't remember what that game is called.
Sounds right.
People always say that I would like that game, and I tried. I'm like, there's too much, and it's hard as shit. And I'm like, I can't play this game. It's way too hard. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just kind of hard to explain. It's also the game. It's like one of the first games I've ever played in my life. So.
Do you remember the first game you've ever played?
I think it's either Galaga or Super Mario World or Mortal Kombat 3 or Mortal Kombat 2.
My first game that I remember playing is the side-scrolling Duke Nukem before it was a first-person shooter.
Really?
Yeah, my aunt had it on her computer.
Like oh, that's wild.
I know. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
I think I think the first game I know that's like the first game I like owned, quote unquote.
Yeah.
I had it on a Game Boy. I had like the original Game Boy, and I had a cartridge that had Galaga and Galaxian on it. And that was the game that I played the most. And then there was a moment, I think, when I got a Namco Museum game where it was like in color and stuff. And I was like,
Ooh.
whoa, this is crazy. And little did I know, that was actually just the normal version of the game, and not the Game Boy port of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just something about it where it's just like, in my mind, it's like, that's why it goes into like why I like certain things. Like I like sci-fi stuff because I like freaking ships and space and stuff because I played Galaga when I was like 4. Or like I like Star Fox a whole bunch because Star Fox is kind of that in 3D. Or like I like Mass Effect stuff because it's in space and Galaga is in space. Like I don't know, like it's just stuff like that where I just like it feels like everything goes back to that game because I have like this fondness of certain things, and it's more often than not tied to it in some way. And also just plays really great. I've said it before, and people have seen me in person do this. Like I said, like Logan, like we've gone to like a barcade in Indiana or like a few other places, and I've like with my wife or whatever going to like a barcade or somewhere with arcade machines or whatever. If I have a beer and a Galaga machine, I will sit there for straight up like 4 hours and play that game. Like I will not leave until I like get a decent high score, or I get like
you need to get your own.
I do. I've looked into it. It's the only arcade machine I want to own.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like a really like big part of like why I love video games and like the reason, like the kind of like the things I look into video games. More of that being gameplay, like fast paced stuff. Maybe that's why I like Doom 2016 a whole bunch. Like
could be. It's
really fast paced. You don't really need like a crazy story or anything. You kind of could think of that up in your head. Well, Doom kind of gives you that if you read stuff, but yeah, that's in my mind that is the best video game ever made. It's hard to explain like why I really like it, but I think it's mostly I think a lot of it is nostalgia, but I do think it is legitimately like still a really great video game to this day. And I think it's influenced a ton of video games since it's been out. I think it came out in 1981.
You are correct. I'm staring at the Wikipedia page. I was seeing if there's a plot.
So, yeah, that's my favorite video game of all time. So now, do you want to say that my video game doesn't play well yet? Or?
No. I was interested to see if it was going to be old enough that you can get away with it, but I feel like a lot of games in the early Metal Gear Solid days don't hold up gameplay wise.
I think Mario 64 plays like hot garbage.
Yeah.
So like any like PS1 and 64 game might play okay, but mostly I feel like they all play like hot garbage, and people are lying to you when they say that their favorite video game is from that era. If somebody says Resident Evil 1, the original, is their favorite video game, they are lying.
Oh, you don't mean the GameCube version? Okay.
Not the GameCube version. The original version of that game.
Yeah. I haven't ever played the original version of that game. But that GameCube game is so good. Oh my gosh. It
sounds like a nightmare. Or Tomb Raider. I've played the original Tomb Raider not that long. Like, I remember playing it, and that is atrocious. That is terrible.
You know what game does hold up from that era?
What?
It's not my number one game, but it's Wet Tricks on Nintendo 64. Mm-hmm. If you never heard of Wet Tricks, it is Tetris with water.
Oh, I remember this now. I remember you telling me about this.
It's so good, dude. It's such a good game. We had 2 copies at my house because my grandpa, there was like a going out of business sale at some local video store.
Yeah.
And he just was like, I'm going to pick up every video game they have. And so we got 2 copies of Wet Tricks. And like Turok 2 Seeds of Evil and 1080 Snowboarding and all these random games that were okay but not that good.
Yeah. No Tony Hawk?
No Tony Hawk. I don't think I owned a Tony Hawk until I got a GameCube.
Damn. Well,
I had a friend who had Tony Hawk.
Tony Hawk 3 is really good.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the first one I owned.
It's a brilliant video game.
You know what's crazy about that game? And I think I might be one of the, like, my brother and I might be the only people that can say this. You know, like, everyone's like, oh, the soundtracks for those games are so good. But to me, the soundtrack of Tony Hawk 3 is Poodle Hat by Weird Al, that album. Because I would turn the sound off and just listen to Weird Al all the time playing that game.
I mean, you did what a lot of people did when they played skateboarding video games. They would turn the music off and they would play their own thing.
Yeah.
I know, like, when I owned an Xbox, I had a ton of music saved on my Xbox, and I would play.
Yeah.
And that was, like, in my mind, I don't remember any other system being able to do that because I didn't own a PlayStation 2, and maybe PlayStation 2s can do it.
I don't think so.
But, like, you could play your music while you were playing video games. And I did that all the time with Tony Hawk games playing on Xbox. So, I mean, I'm with you. I do know, like, the soundtrack, though, from Tony Hawk 3, and it was pretty good.
Yeah. I'm sure it was.
It had Fight Like a Brave by Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I don't know what that song
That's
is.
the main song I remember.
Okay.
I actually don't remember any of the other songs from it.
But my actual number one game of all time is the only perfect video game ever made. And that is The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past.
Wow. You know, I actually wasn't expecting that.
Really?
Yeah.
What were you expecting?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I would have expected, like, because thinking about it, it's like, you know, World of Warcraft, and Diablo 2, and for some reason I feel like Zelda doesn't fit into that. Like,
no, you're not wrong. I mean,
I would have thought maybe
fantasy.
some, like, I mean, maybe some sort of, like, I don't know why I thought maybe some strategy game or something. I don't know.
Ooh, yeah, I'm not a big strategy guy.
No? Yeah.
I mean, I played a lot of StarCraft, but
Yeah.
it's not, you know, the big thing. I mean, I play Link to the Past at least once a year, all the way through.
You want to know something?
Don't say you've never played it.
I've never played Link to the Past.
Oh my gosh. It's like one of the most important games ever released. It still holds up. It has an incredible community of people that have you ever seen the randomizer?
I've never seen the randomizer, but I have seen speed runs.
The randomizer, you should, I guess maybe it won't be as good for you because you don't like.
I don't understand the game.
Yeah. There's a really good Giant Bomb video where Dan Reichert plays. He tries to play through the randomizer, and you know, obviously, you know, like everything is random, and the whole time he's just like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this is here," and they're just like, "That's the whole point, Dan." Of course. But yeah, I mean, like right before we started this, I guess not currently because this was an hour ago, I'm in the middle of a 4-hour Nightmare Seed where not only is every chest location like randomized, so items are all in different places, but you don't have a sword, and you don't have every door that like opens and closes to an area is randomized. So like you'll enter Link's house and it will take you to a dungeon, and then you'll exit the dungeon and it will take you to the back to the forest. And
how do you play that game?
The guy that does it he's crazy, but you know, he like maps it out as he's going. It's insane. But yeah, so it is, you know, I played it as a kid a lot. I could never beat Ganon until, you know, later in life because I was bad at video games. I mean, I still am bad at video games, but it's just like every time I play it, it continues to be incredible. Like it's not gone. It's not, you know, it hasn't aged at all. It's still like, as I said, a perfect video game. Like there's not a single thing I can think of that's bad about A Link to the Past. Yeah. And I don't know if part of that's like my nostalgia talking, and maybe other people have actual problems with it. But
I mean, I think I said the same thing about Galga. There's just like, there's nothing bad I can really say about that game, you know? Yeah. And again, I think I'm with you where it's like, it's probably nostalgia. Like there's a lot of connections there that I have with it, but yeah.
But like, I mean, still to this day, you know, it's still having so many people playing it, whether it's normal or randomized. And I will say the randomized community has added so much to my love of the game, because it's like they, Speed Gaming, which is a YouTube channel, and they also do Twitch, but I'm never around to watch them live.
Yeah.
They run tournaments all the time, and watching two people have to run the same seed, and like the choices they make to try to figure out which checks they're going to do is so intriguing, and like it's such a satisfying thing to watch.
Yeah.
Especially when somebody who's like incredible. These people are so freaking good at Zelda, doing things I could never even imagine being able to pull off. And then you're like, oh, I bet I could do that glitch. And then, you play it on your Switch and you have no chance. But yeah, I mean, it's such a good game. Like everyone should play it. I know, I have seen people who are like kind of got bored with it nowadays.
Is Zelda like one of your favorite franchises?
Yeah, it's up there.
Do you want to know the only Zelda games I've ever played in, or that I've ever beaten, I should say?
Zelda 2?
No.
Oh, that's good.
I've played and beaten the first one.
Really?
Like
the Legend of Zelda?
Like the Legend of
NES?
Zelda. Yes. I had the Game Boy Advance, like NES Classic one.
Yeah.
I had that, and I played that and beat it. Link's Awakening. Yeah. Not the new one. I played it and beat it when it was on Game Boy Color, the DX one.
Yeah.
And then Breath of the Wild.
That's it. Wow.
That's it.
Gosh. Wow.
Those are the only Zelda games I've beaten. I have played nearly all of them. I've played some of Link to the Past. Actually, 2 years ago. I've played Wind Waker. I've played Ocarina, and I think those are the only ones. And then plus the other ones, and I think those are the only ones I've played actually.
But never to completion.
Never to completion.
Golly, that's amazing to me.
I got to Water Temple in Ocarina.
Okay, well, yeah, I understand why you would drop off there. That sucks.
I got to in Link to the Past. I didn't really get that far, and it was. Honestly, Link to the Past, when I played it, was like one of those things where I was like, I'm going to play this because I have nothing to play, and then other things started coming out, and then I dropped it. Because I think I only got to where you meet, like, it's in the beginning where you meet Zelda and, like, the church thing or whatever, and you go out, and it's, like, the graveyard or whatever.
to escape? Okay.
Yeah,
that's, like, the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's like, well, no, and then I did that's the one thing I remember from it, but I think I played more than that.
If I say the name, crap, I can't even say it, Shahasrala, does that mean anything to you?
No, not at all.
Okay.
And I probably wouldn't have even remembered that, even if I met that person. I might have done like the first dungeon or two.
Okay.
In that one.
So you fought? Did you fight the boss where it's 3 like armored knights that jump around and you have to shoot them with arrows?
I did play that.
Okay, that's Eastern Kingdoms. That's the first dungeon.
Yeah, maybe I only did that and that was it.
Okay.
And then, I mean, I've played the new Link's Awakening, I guess, if that counts.
On the one that came out on
Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I did drop off of that one too. I didn't.
So you haven't even touched Majora's Mask.
I've never touched Majora's Mask in my life.
I know there are people who hate that game.
Yeah, I know
I'm not one of
it's
them.
a very polarizing one. It seems because a lot of people love that game too.
Yeah,
and
I love
think
that
it's
game.
Amazing. My friend is like very fond of that game. But yeah, I've never even touched Twilight Princess. I tried Skyward Sword. Like at a friend's house, but it was like for one day. I didn't really. Yeah. I don't like to say that I played it because I really didn't play it.
The only good part about Skyward Sword is that it got Gruce into VGCW, which is everyone should watch Video Game Championship Wrestling if you haven't. But
I didn't.
Have you ever watched that?
No, I've never seen that.
Oh, Michael. You would love it.
Oh wait, maybe I have seen it. Now that I'm remembering. I think I've seen it. Do they use like the 2K games?
Yeah, they use the 2K games.
Yeah.
And they have,
I've definitely seen that.
Like simulated matches, and then they have like these freaking wild, crazy plots in between each match. It's
I've definitely seen that.
Yeah.
I've never played. Yeah, I've never played 2. Are there other Zelda games other than those that I'm not thinking of? That's it, right?
I mean, there's Ages of Oracle. I
any,
mean, there's all the ones on
any of the Game Boy ones I've never played, never touched.
Okay, yeah, like
Phantom
Minish Cap.
Hourglass, Minish Cap,
Yeah.
the one that's like Link to the Past but not Link to the Past.
What is that called?
Four Swords.
I just played that. Oh, that wasn't what I was thinking of. Link's no. There's one on 3DS. It's really good.
Oh,
where you can.
I know what the cover looks like.
Yeah, same.
Because I was working at GameStop at that time.
But it's like
Between Worlds. Link Between Worlds.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I've never played that.
That game's really good too.
Yeah, never played that game. Yeah, none of those games I never played. Never touched them.
That's crazy. You should rectify that.
Yeah, Zelda's like a thing that like when I see it and I'm like, wow, that like even the Skyward Sword thing from the Direct. Like, wow, like that looks fun. And then I play it and I'm like, I don't know if I even like this, and I don't know, it's like the concept and like the idea of Zelda is like really cool. And I really like Breath of the Wild a lot. And I loved Link's Awakening. And I thought the first one was great. Like, I think they're all great, but yeah, I never got into them. Link to the Past seems amazing from what I played.
It's very good. Yeah, very, very good.
I have like.
I used to say.
Oh, go ahead. I was gonna say I have it technically. It's on Switch and it's on.
That's true.
And I have the NES or the Super NES Classic, so I could always play it.
I used to try and be edgy and say it was Majora's Mask over Link to the Past, but I have come past that in my life. I still like Majora's Mask more than most people, but it is not better than A Link to the Past.
Yeah. That just seems stressful, Majora's Mask.
Majora's Mask?
Yeah.
It's so fun because you get to put on all the masks, and then at the very end you get this, what's it called? Like they're great. There's some crazy mask you can get if you get them all and you turn into this giant, like it's basically like you turn into a Power Ranger with like a giant Zordon to fight the final boss. It's really sweet.
Is the boss is the moon, right?
Is
the boss the moon?
I think there's four. I can't. Dang it. I don't think so. There's like.
I just
it gets really,
that.
really freaking weird. Like
I quite honestly don't know anything about Majora's Mask. I don't know what happens in it. I just know there's a moon with a face.
Yeah, there's like there's four giants. So you lift the 4 curses, and then there's 4 giants that come around and stop the moon from falling. Let me see. Okay, and then I think you fight the mask.
Oh.
No, you fight Skull Kid. That's right. Skull Kid's the kid that has the mask, and then I think does he? I don't remember. I'm trying to read this Wikipedia article as I go, and I can't remember.
So, Link to the Past, I should play it.
You should play it.
You should play more Galaga.
Maybe.
I think you should. I should say I own Galaga on every platform that I've ever owned. I own it on PS4. I own it on Xbox One. I don't know. I think I own it on. Is it on Switch? If it's on Switch, I own it. It has to be on Switch.
I'm sure it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a shoot 'em up, right?
It's just so you have the ship at the bottom of the screen.
Okay. So it's like Space Invaders.
Yeah, it only moves left and right. And then there's ships at the top that come in. And then they make a formation. But you can shoot while they make their formation. But sometimes when they make their formation, they either like go in for a kill and just like bomb, like just rush into you, or they shoot while they do their formation. Yeah, I don't know. That game's just great. It never hitches. There's never a point where there's some frame drop because it's perfect. I think the art is good. Like I think like the sprites are cool looking for the time. I don't know.
No, I mean
I've seen what Link to the Past looks like. That game is really good. It's a good looking game.
Oh yeah, it looks incredible.
That game does look incredible. I will say that.
And if you do the randomizer, you can make your own Link sprite. Like the guy I watch, his is a pug.
That's very
and
good.
people play as like other characters. Like I was watching a race where someone was playing as what's that game where there's a game, it's like Super Runner or something.
Bit Trip
doesn't matter.
Runner?
Yeah, Bit Trip Runner, there it is. They were playing as the guy as him from
like
that game.
Like the black and it's like just like a stick or whatever.
I think so. Maybe I'm thinking of a different game.
I don't know.
Anyways, you can make your own sprite, and it's pretty cool.
Anyway, those are 3 favorite video games of all time.
Oh yeah, we should wrap up. It's gone on pretty long.
So just to recap, mine are, what were mine again? Judgment, Skater XL, Galaga. Galaga's the only one that actually didn't change during this, because if I had, again, like I said, probably would have said Mass Effect and Doom 2016, and then Galaga. Yours were...
Also, yours are like, way more spread apart. Like they're not... I feel like mine kind of... Well, maybe not around the same thing, but they're all kind of fantasy type games.
Yeah, but they're definitely like far... Like they're not like all in one era,
Yeah,
I think
true.
that's almost more important than just like the type of game, because obviously they're games that you personally like, and so you're going to gravitate towards a certain thing.
Yeah.
I
am very surprised there's no... I mean, I will say like 4 is probably Mass Effect 2.
Yeah.
No, it's probably Earthbound.
I tried playing Earthbound, and I could not do it.
It's frustrating. Okay, but yeah. Let's get out of here because I'm hungry.
All right. Oh, and just to say, yours were...
Oh, yeah. Mine were World of Warcraft, then Diablo 2, and then Legend of Zelda Link to the Past.
Yeah. Very good. These are all great video games.
Yeah, you should play them all.
You should play all of these games. They're all great. That's it. Thank you, everyone, for listening to the first episode of Bantam Banter. You could follow me on Twitter at @TheMichaelRuiz. Also, honestly, I use Twitter frequently. I also use Instagram really frequently. So follow me on Instagram at @TheMichaelJRuiz. There. I'm not really writing for anything anymore. If you want to see previous works, they're on dualshockers.com. And
your current works are on bantambanter.com.
Yeah, my current works will be at bantambanter.com for the foreseeable future. Ricky, where can they find you?
You can find me on the Twitters at Ricky Frech. The last one is Frech. And then I am freelancing at different places, probably most prominently at this place called GamePer. So if you want to check out stuff there, that's a bunch of guides and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, hopefully as we go, I think both the podcast will take a better shape and maybe be, I mean, this first one's kind of weird, right? So
yeah,
I think as we move forward, we're going to be centered around one topic. And so hopefully it'll have a little bit more flow, I guess.
Yeah.
In and out.
Yeah.
I don't think this one was.
Yeah.
This one wasn't bad or anything. I just think, it's the first one's always weird. So hopefully you stick around for another one. I think we're going to have a lot of fun.
I will say it's also especially weird given the circumstances of why we're even doing this first episode. So
yeah. But yeah, just follow me on Twitter, and all the places I write about will probably come up on there. I mean, I'm still figuring stuff out. I just left Dual Shockers, so we're still figuring out the next moves. So, but we're always staying moving.
It's all a work in progress, kind of. And
ooh, that's what we should call our podcast. No.
Yeah, work in progress. Again, just make sure to check out the website, www.bantambanter.com. We'll let you know if we decide to explore different avenues of putting this content out. But for now, you could probably expect it on podcast services. There's nothing I can really confirm now because I haven't really done it because this is the first one that I'm going to try to put up there, but expect it maybe on like Spotify and like Google Play and all the places that you'd expect it to be at. Thank you once again. Have a good one, guys. See ya.
Bye.